Most people throw away their videos on YouTube and they hope for the best. But what if every video could create and become a lead magnet that actually grows your email list? And so I'm going to show you an exact system that you could use to take a podcast, a video, a webinar, or any piece of content that you've either recorded or you've grabbed online, and to be able to extract insights from it, to be able to create a lead magnet that'll help you to grow your business, get more leads, just about the whole thing. And so I'll go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to dive right in. So right now you should see Alphana. And for those of you first joining us, right, in Alphana, is what we're going to do is grab a video and to be able to repurpose that to generate some content for an ebook. We'll try to generate the ebook cover. We're going to generate all the content for it, come up with ideas around the ebook, and even some supporting images that could be used inside. This is just one of hundreds of ways that you could take a video and create a workflow for content. So what you're seeing in here inside of Alphana, I've got several projects. I've got one that I started running right before this. And the first thing I'm going to do is come over here to click create. And by doing this, now it opens up our create workflow. Okay. In here, what it does is it presents you with several different templates and content pieces that you could generate all from video. And so for example, I could turn my video into short clips. I could turn it into social posts. I could extract tips and lessons, or just as simple as generate a blog post, right? But as we scroll down, you'll see that we actually have a whole library of different templates and workflows that you could use. And this is pretty important because this gives you optionality, right? And so if you do a lot of content on YouTube, we have a workflow for that. If you're trying to generate short form scripts, you could select a template that does that for you. Or if you have a podcast workflow, like every week or something like that, you put out a podcast episode and you want to turn that into clips, images, and social posts, we could do that too. And so we've got a lot of options in here, I think, that work out and can help to do these things really right. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select a video from my library. So as you saw, I clicked add YouTube or upload, and you could drop a YouTube link or click on video or audio if you want to select a source. Or in this case, what I want to do is actually reuse a video that I've already uploaded inside of my library. So when I do that, it now shows me all the different uploads that I've added. Okay, I've got one here about Alex Hormozy talking about his $100 million book launch. I've got this one, which is talking about Sora versus Hollywood, IP rules, creator impact, and real prompt texts. That's actually a good one. I might leverage this one, and others with OpenAI. Why don't we do this? Let's grab this one. It was a shorter video. It's about Sora 2 and Hollywood talking about IP protection. I did release a video, maybe 2 weeks ago about Sora 2 and how incredible it is. And so if you want to check that out, please go ahead and check out on our YouTube channel. But for now, let's use this to be able to generate some potential ebook content, right? So let's just say I want to put out an ebook or create a lead magnet that I can give away to people. This would be one of the ways. I could grab this video, get some insights from it, come up with some ideas, and Alphana will help generate something new for you that you could use. So now that I've got that in here, I'm going to come in and I'm going to search for ebook as an example. Perfect. And now I've got this item here. And what this will do is it'll generate some AI images. It'll create some ideas for lead magnets, a draft, and it'll create an outline. It kind of gives me optionality so that I could pick and choose. Some people want it written for them. Some people just want ideas. And so this kind of gives you a little bit of each to give you an insight of what that would look like. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and I'm going to click next. Now, once you click next, it's going to give you some options to personalize how the settings for this specific ebook, right? And so if you already have custom instructions, which is in Alphana, like your overall guiding principles of how you want content to be personalized, that could be like, your writing style, brand guidelines. It can have information about you. That'll be in your custom instructions. Over here, it lets you add to those custom instructions. Or if this is your first time in Alphana, then this will be essentially be your first set of instructions that creates. So for example, I want this to be written in a conversational tone, and I want to write at a 6th grade reading level, right? And my target audience, maybe in this case, I'll put creators. So write for a creator audience. And then my target language is going to be in English. But you could select any one of these to change the language, but everything is customizable. So you could put whatever you want in here. Like, let's say it was, Russian, Chinese, or any other language that you choose, right? So in this case, I'm keeping it as English. And you'll see in here, right, my project instructions. This is exactly what we are going to tell our AI of how we want to personalize the content before we generate the ebook lead magnet, right? Because it gave it the writing style, the audience, all these details. Now, all of these are text boxes, so you could write whatever it is that you want in here to add more detail into it, right? They don't have to be short words. It could be sentences. It could be multiple bullet points, right? And so I'm going to put in here for the content, make sure to include a CTA to try Alphana AI to help you turn any video into 30 plus pieces of content. Okay, so this is just an example, but now if we're creating these ebooks, I want to have some sort of CTA, and if this is my first time in here, I probably didn't customize all the prompts, so I'm just throwing that in here as an extra tidbit so it has some sort of call to action for people to do once they receive this ebook, right? So now that I have all of that set, I'm going to go ahead and hit next, and here I have an option to be able to edit my transcript before I generate the content. I don't need to. I'm going to go ahead and skip that. And so I'm going to say no, and I'm going to hit generate, right? Now, once you hit generate, right, it takes you now to a hosted project page. Okay, this project is essentially where it hosts the content pieces that are being generated now with our platform. Okay, it's analyzing the video, transcribed it, and based on the video context, it now starts generating content live right in front of you. In this case now, it started with my lead magnet ideas. Like I said earlier, you might just want ideas for a lead magnet, but you don't want AI to generate it for you, and that's okay, right? Because I'm a very big believer is have AI only replace the parts of the process that you do not want to do, right? The tedious parts. But if you have an enjoyment in writing all the content, you're going to write it. But if you want just some ideas, or you know what, you have the ideas, but you want it to write it for you, that's up to each person's preference. And you have that capability to do that in here. And if you look in here, I have 5 great ideas with bullet points of what would happen and be talked about in each one of those lead magnets. And if I keep scrolling, you'll see that I have now an option to generate a full outline for an e-magnet. For a lead magnet, right? And so this one's like all about Sora 2 and the new era of creator video. And what's the big promise? Learn how to use Sora 2 for safe, original videos, avoid copyright trouble, and build a content engine that scales. So you can see here how we've got everything, right? It shows you each chapter, right? So it goes in order, like what is Sora 2? Okay. AI copyright and you, the policy shift. So what changed? Prompting safely, testing for trouble. You see how it like goes through each one, right? Creating original characters, voice and sound, platform shifts you can use, 7-day content plan, monetization basics, fixing weird outputs, and it goes on and on and on for what, 18 chapters. The 19th are essentially next steps of what you could do. And then it has a bonus at the end, right? A 30-minute build sprint. And it shows you what's here. So this is a pretty good outline. If you're that type of person where you're like, hey, I have no idea what to do in an ebook, what to come up with, this is your way of doing it. Now that I've got this, right? It's like I said, you probably know that you need a lead magnet, but you don't know what to do, right? I think what's really important here is that any video could be turned into 5 or 10 different lead magnets, and they each could be targeting a different pain point. Okay, so this is stuff that is super important for a business, right? These things could have taken 8 hours, 10 hours to do, and now just in minutes, right? I just did this right in front of you, took 2 to 3 minutes or less just to generate all this content that we're talking about. And this is a great way for you to be able to capture leads on your website, because what you do is you would embed one of these ebooks inside of your website. So super important. Now, the next one, and you'll see it's still running. Look how incredible this is. We are actually writing an entire ebook from scratch. This isn't a one-pager. It's not just bullet points and takeaways. This is a full draft for an ebook or a lead magnet called The Creator's Guide to Sora 2, How to Stay Legal, Stand Out, and Scale Your Content. And it breaks it down with all the content inside. I mean, if I go chapter by chapter, you'll see it wrote every single chapter, organized it with bullets, short statements, makes it easy and digestible. And I could just keep going. Like I'm already, chapter 14, opportunity, why now is the time. It's got a bonus at the end, your next step, and you'll see here it's finalizing, right? Look, keep building, keep it original, keep it simple, and keep shipping. So you could see how this is something that could be extremely useful, right? I've got my entire ebook draft in here, which now I could take and do a couple things. I could either grab this ebook, put it into a PDF and export, I could hand this off to a designer if we want to go very much in more detail, making it really beautiful, stylize all the pages. You can make edits to this if you need to, right? If you want to make edits to make it more personalized or anything like that. You've got different options, but just that first draft, you could literally use this and start collecting more leads today, right? You don't have to wait or anything like that. And I always say is give it a shot, try it and see how it looks. But now that I've got that, let's pull this up. I want to have some images for the ebook, okay? And we're going to do a couple things. So one, this one already generated an image, and I'm going to actually add a new AI card in here. We're going to generate ebook covers, and then I'm going to save this as a workflow. And if you stay till the end, I'll tell you how you could get access to this modified version that I'm doing today. So please stick to the end. Let's watch this video. So the first image that it generated was trying to visualize aspects from the video, right? And so if you understood it before, the video was talking about IP protection, Sora 2, what it would do for Hollywood, all that stuff. So this tried to visualize that, right? So it's like visualizing AI videos clash with Hollywood IP, balancing creativity, ethics, and guardrails today. And so this is saying to design an ebook cover without any text, a split composition where the left side shows a classic film studio set, camera, lights, and a director's chair bathed in warm, practical lighting. So I won't read the entire prompt, but you could see it here on the screen. We go into detail on what this looks like, right? So this is super important. I think on the screen it's hiding a little bit. Maybe I could do this with the bubble. You'll see it a little bit more, but you can see the prompt here on the right. You didn't have to come up with this prompt, right? Because we analyzed the video to understand what the video was about, the transcript, the insights. And from there, Alphana will automatically generate a very detailed prompt written specifically to be able to generate an image that would coincide with the video. Now, guess what? If you don't like the style or it's not your preference of how you want the style, all of that could be modified in the prompt. So if I close this out, okay, if you click on edit, you can modify any existing prompt that you want. And so in this case, I could modify the text that you see inside of here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and create a new one. I'm going to go ahead and say AI images. Hold on, because I probably went a little bit too quickly, right? First things first, if I click the plus sign here, okay, this allows me to select from a library of content cards that I can add into the project to be able to generate more content. And so you don't have to worry about coming up with all the prompts, right? Because we have an entire library of them. So the first thing I'll do actually is come here and I want to generate ebook covers for this, right? Some designs. And so if you click here, it says ebook cover design images. I'm going to go ahead and select that. When I select this, you'll see that we have crafted a custom prompt that asks our AI to generate a ebook cover. This isn't a one-line prompt. It's design an ebook lead magnet cover based on the provided video transcript or text context. Use the material to inspire the overall concept, emotion, and visual direction. And then we go very detailed into the style direction as well as core instructions. What's great about this is if you have a very specific style for your brand, I would come in here and I would say, use my brand colors primary, and then you could put like a color code or something like that, right? Just grab what your color codes are. You could put that in here. You could describe your brand, how it should reflect it. So you could do things like that. The second thing you could do is actually upload a reference image. So if you have brand guidelines and you have several images that show the look and feel of your brand, you could upload multiple of those in here to coincide with what you see so that it comes out towards your brand. So for now, I'm going to leave the prompt as is because I want you to see what it looks like without any modifications, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and hit generate. Now that I hit generate, what is it doing on the back end? Okay, we're analyzing the video. We're understanding what's happening with the transcript. Then based on that, we're going to draft 4 unique prompts for concepts of images that could be used for an ebook cover. Okay, 4 of them. And so each one of those prompts are being generated on the back end because we have an AI agent that literally its job right now is to write prompts to generate beautiful images in the style that was coming in from the source prompt. Once it's done with those prompts, we then go and generate each individual image to coincide with that prompt. And when our AI agent is done, and it crafted it and it generated the images, then it'll display here for you to be able to see and preview to see what these drafts look like so you can use it for your ebook. And so we're going to let that run for a minute. And meanwhile, I want to jump to the chat. Let me know, do you have any questions? Tell me what you think. please go ahead and drop it in there now. So we'll let that run a bit, and looks like everybody's good so far. As we're generating these covers, if I come back up here, I want to see how we could refine some of these and see kind of what ideas it came up with, right? I kind of glossed over that a little bit. So if I come in here to the ideas, right? The first idea that it came up with was the Creator's Guide to AI Video in 2025. So what are we talking about here? Right? Here's a couple key points of what should be included in this ebook. What Sora 2 can and can't do in plain English, safe prompt tips so you don't copy famous characters. Okay, that's good. We don't want to steal other people's IP. How to turn one idea into shorts, reels, and long form. A simple weekly content plan for busy creators. And last but not least, a checklist from script to video, captions, and posts. So this is an idea that it came up with for the first lead magnet. Go ahead and drop in the chat. Tell me what you think about that idea. All right, the second one. IP safe prompting. Make original characters without getting flagged. So this will cover easy rules to avoid copyright trouble, side-by-side risky versus safe prompt examples, how to describe style without naming brands, and visual style word bank that you can use. And last but not least, a template with 10 prompts for original heroes, worlds, and mascots. I didn't have to come up with these ideas all by myself, right? I know I want to do something with Sora. I got a video that's talking about Sora 2. Now I want to generate an ebook based on that so that I can use it as a lead magnet to be able to capture more leads, right? You've got this whole entire thing that trickles with it, right? And so that's two ideas. The third one is 90 days to an AI video content machine. And this gives you a 12-week roadmap for steady growth. I mean, look at this, right? A swipe file gives you metrics. The fourth idea is an AI video quality playbook, right? Fix glitches before you post. And it kind of teaches you, right, the common fails, the weird hands, the odd legs, lip syncing, how to spot them. You know, Sora 2 does a really great job at it. But yeah, there's ways that you could try to, know what the failure points are up front before you do them, right? And the next one is to be survive and thrive, creators versus big platforms, right? The next 12 to 18 months, what changing AI tools mean for reach and ad dollars. You know, it's kind of crazy. You could say the next 12 to 18 months, but that's so far out because AI is changing so quickly. I'd probably say in the next 3 to 6 months because we're moving at an unprecedented pace. So this is great. Just to recap for everyone, we took a video that we pulled from YouTube. I had this already in my library. This video is all about OpenAI Sora, Sora 2. And based on this video, we're like, all right, let's capture some leads and generate a lead magnet, which is essentially an ebook that you can use to give away to your customers or to leads and prospects, okay? And we just went over a series of ideas that came through. The second one we got was a full outline for what a lead magnet would look like. And last but not least, it generated a full draft that I could use and easily hand off to a copywriter to a designer or someone to create the ebook for me. Or literally, I could copy and paste this, put it into a Notion doc, and my lead magnet will be that Notion doc. Or I can save it as a PDF and it will be that. And what's great, and if I refresh, because yes, if it was just all plain text, it might look a little boring, right? And so let's come over here and see a couple options for what the ebook cover would look like. And here we go. So we generated these e-cover designs, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and click on the first one and let's take a look at that, okay? All right, so first ebook, Sora 2 versus Hollywood, a creator's guide to AI and IP. And you could see, look at how intricate it went with the design. I mean, you've got in the background with the video, you've got the lock, IP compliance, right? And then at the bottom, it's like how to prompt safely, stay original, and still stand out. Turn any video into 30 posts with Alphana AI. Wow, do you see that? Look at this at the bottom, right? This is what I had added in my custom instructions, right? And so if I wanted to do this ebook, and this would be an example ebook cover, it already put a CTA for Alphana AI inside of the cover. And if I go and read through the final draft, I'm sure that the CTA is in there too. So this is one option for an ebook cover. Let's look at the second option, right? AI video without IP traps. The Sora 2 playbook for creators. Look at that, right? Smart prompting plus policy basics, turn videos into 30 pieces with Alphana AI. I mean, look at this, and it shows you the storyboard concept. It shows you here in the background with the red. And then you've got the IP use, like look at this with the buttons. It's just incredible. So this kind of makes it very detailed to be able to do it. You see the pencils, everything is on here. I mean, just look at that, right? It kind of gives you like a high level overview of what is going on inside of here and engages the person to be able to click into it. And again, like I mentioned earlier, the style is all based on how the prompt is. So if you look here, right, this is on purpose, right? It's like photorealistic cover that avoids people, superhero aesthetics without showing characters, right? A red cape neatly folded on a wooden studio prop table beside a neutral black eye mask and a blank storyboard with a yellow caution tag that reads, "No licensed characters." Nearby, a stainless film reel reflects a distant studio doorway with a soft orange glow, while a small card says "Black Cape, Rescue Skiing, Filtered." Look at that, right? And that's right down here in there. So again, if you want a different style, like for example, I think in some of our prompts, we specifically say don't feature people's faces, okay? And that's just an example here, right? Because if maybe something is about you, we don't want it to put some random face, but having someone's face works well if you treat it like a creator or like an actor or something. Like you just want to have some sort of reference face, you could do something like that too, almost make it look like user generated. And so all you would do is edit the prompt to do that. And again, I didn't put in their brand colors, styles, anything like that, right? I'm showing you what it looks like naturally, and then you can edit your custom instructions or the prompt to specify the style, the brand, or anything like that. All right, so here's another one. Sora 2 and IP, a practical guide for creators. And if you look at the background, look at all the little like old school TV screens. It's like content block, content block, content blocked, right? And then over here, you see something that says original concepts only, and keep your prompts clean, keep your videos yours. So this is something else that I mean, just as an example. And again, maybe these aren't even your final drafts. Maybe you're like, hey, I just need the final idea, and then you can go and get and tweak it, right? We could tweak it in here. Hopefully we get you final drafts, but we want to get you 80-90% at minimum to your destination. Last but not least, here's the last cover, right? Inside the Sora 2 IP debate, a creator's field guide. Look at that. And you got like this door. It looks mysterious. Talks about soundstage. So all of these look very dark, mysterious kind of thing. And that's because that was the tone of the video. Okay. It's talking about IP theft. It's talking about the debate with Sora 2. It's talking about filmmaking. So naturally, what is the style for this particular ebook? It's very mysterious. It looks cinematic. It's realistic, right? So it's inheriting all those tones. But if your video is about some very happy mood and maybe vibrant colors, and depending on what it is that you're talking about, then the look and feel is going to be completely different for that particular asset. You know, if you have your ebook, now you've got some ebook cover images that you can use, which work out great, right? And so this kind of shows you high level how I could take this, turn it into an ebook, have an ebook cover. And even then what you could do is generate images that can go inside of the ebook. Now, one of the things that I think would be interesting, if I come in here, like all the ebooks, okay, they have all their chapters, right? And they show all the content. But usually towards the end of an ebook, what you could do is add some bonus content, okay? In this case, it tells you, it just gives you some tips. Sorry, the bonus, 30-minute starter plan. But there's so many ways that you could have bonuses inside of these ebooks. And then you can either include it in the ebook or add a link for them to go and get that bonus. And that helps you to track how many people got to the end, that they were so engaged, and then they clicked on a link to go access something else that you're giving away. And so one of those things that I had an idea on was, what if at the end of like an ebook, if it's teaching you something, you created a quiz that you can give away to customers or prospects to test them on the insights that they learned, right? And so what I want to do is I'm just going to come over here and click add card, and I'm going to click on quiz or search quizzes, right? And you'll see that I have a couple options for quizzes. I've got multiple choice quiz, a true or false, or fill in the blank. So I'm going to go ahead and select the multiple choice quiz. And what this is going to do is analyze the video and come up with a series of questions that you can ask to test the reader. And it's going to put together multiple choice options for those questions. And then at the end of this quiz, it's going to give you all of the answers so that you have it. You don't have to make this up yourself, right? And so what's great is that you can combine the element of an ebook, this lead magnet that you're going to give away, with an extra quiz at the end. And you could do 2 or 3 quizzes if you want, do a true or false, do multiple choice, so that you can give that as a handout to anyone who accesses your ebook. And guess what? A multiple choice quiz, a true or false, and combining these quizzes together on its own could be a lead magnet. Okay, if you're trying to test someone's knowledge about the Sora 2's launch and how it sparked a showdown for Hollywood and all this stuff, right? You could do something like that. And look at this row, right? It analyzed the video. It came up with all of the questions. Look at this. It's still going, still going, still going. And check it out. All the answers. We're going to test ourselves right now without even watching this video, okay? Let's go back up here. So now I've got a multiple choice quiz, Sora 2, Hollywood, and AI. All right. Answer each question by choosing A, B, C, or D. All right, what is Sora 2 mainly used for in this video? All right, so you've got A, audio editing, B, text to video generation, C, social media publishing, or 3D printing. I'll give everybody a minute. What do you think? Sora 2, what is it mainly used for? Audio editing, text to video generation, social media scheduling, or 3D printing? If you're listening live, drop it in the chat. If you're on YouTube watching this replay, go ahead and drop that as a comment. I'll just come here and I'll say this is B, text to video generation. That's what Sora 2 is all about. But you'll see it came up with a ton. Like what kicked off latest Hollywood versus AI tension according to the video? At first, how did Sora handle intellectual property from media companies? And who reportedly sent strong worded letters to OpenAI? Record labels, Motion Picture Association, news networks, sports leagues. So you could see here, it came up with all the questions for it, right? And again, this could be attached to the end. And if you look here, look at the answers, right? Text to video generation, OpenAI introducing the latest version of Sora, IP holders had to actively opt out. So you could see here, right? All the answers to the question. Now, what's cool, and you can see this, we even added at the end, like want to turn this video into shorts, threads, or carousels, right? Try Alphana to turn any video into 30 pieces of content and get help integrating AI into your daily content workflow. Look at this, right? So remember what I told you earlier when we first did this, we created this project from the video and I added a call to action. I said, hey, always add a call to action to try Alphana AI and that turns video into 30 pieces of content. And it did that. And it put it here. And then guess what? It added a second part to my CTA. Get help integrating AI into your daily content workflow. Now, why did this say this here at the end of this, right? If I go here to the top right and I click the 3-dot ellipsis menu and I click on custom instructions, I have my own set of instructions outside of what I did with you guys while we were walking through this. And you'll see here, if I look at this in my instructions, I say for CTAs or topics related to Sebastian Mora or Alphana, always refer to how I can help others integrate AI into their daily content workflow. So you could see that I already had this CTA, but for this specific ebook, I added another CTA. So what did Alphana do? Alphana combined the two CTAs together to include it in here to ensure that this is more tailored towards my audience. So this is super important. I recommend everyone come in, set up your custom instructions. Like it's got to know your purpose. It's got to know who your target audience is. It's got to know what your CTA is, what your business does, because then it'll rewrite the content to match your brand and your company or your services that you provide to others. All right. Let's see. I love that it adds a CTA, updating my custom instructions. I love it. Yeah, definitely recommend it. So this is just an example. Now, like I told you earlier, we have multiple choice. You have true or false quizzes and you have fill in the blank. And so again, this could be used as part either a separate lead magnet or it could be the bonus lead magnet for your main PDF or ebook that you give away. And that'll be a good way to track. Now, not only that, but I thought like, all right, what if I did my lead magnet as a multiple choice quiz? Can I create a cover for the quiz like I did for the ebook? If I go to quiz, I'm going to come in here and I search it. Again, I have my 3 different quizzes that you could choose from. But if I come here, you'll see we have a new AI card called Quiz Cover Page Design. So this is going to generate a quiz design cover. I'm going to hit generate. So just like how we generated a cover for the ebook, which is a brand new card, right? If I come down here, we generated 4 ebook cover designs, okay? This is a brand new AI card inside of Alphana that you could select. All you got to do is search for ebook cover design, right? So perfect. We have that right here, like I showed you earlier. And that other one now is for quizzes. So now we're doing a quiz cover page design. And this one's going to generate 4 images that can be used. And so what's great is that this could be the image that appears before the quiz inside of your PDF. And this alone makes it even more engaging before people dive into this quiz. So any questions so far? I'll let that sink in for a minute. All right, let's take a look at the comments. I added my brand colors and custom instructions for graphics that I create in Alphana. I love it. Yeah, I can't tell everyone how important that is. And I mentioned it earlier, even when we were generating the project, you could put your colors. Like if I come in here in my custom instructions, I don't have it in here for Alphana because I want a lot of content to come out different for our demos, but I can come in here and say, for all images, use my brand guidelines style. I'm just making up an example. You could say like primary color. And what's great is you could put the actual hex code. I'm just making up numbers here. Or you could say, like a vibrant orange and a touch of pink, right? Well, it'd be nice if I could spell correctly. So you could do stuff like that as part of your brand guidelines. You could say never or always include a website URL in the images. Never use black backgrounds, right? Always vibrant tones. So I am making up instructions as I speak, just to give you an example of what that looks like. You could put details like your brand color. You can give it instructions of always add a URL in the images. You could say never use a black background or dark background. I prefer flat design, not animated. You could do things like that to help guide the AI model onto how you want your images to be created. Highly recommend that. And let's see what this created. We'll take a quick look. All right, and here we go. All right, now I've got 4 brand new images that could be used potentially for a quiz cover. And so this one went even more detailed. Like, look how different this is from the other prompt. And it's because I left the original prompt very basic on purpose. And so you could see here, like you've got an image as a cover. It's like, all right, can AI mimic a hero in a black cape with an opt-out button? And you can see all the text here. It talks about Sora 2, the text. This is very detailed. If I come in here, can AI video cross the IP line or keep it clean? And so it shows you here. So I would probably change some more in this, but okay, AI versus Hollywood. What did you learn? Okay, so this is a good example, right? These quiz things are like essentially saying, hey, what did you learn? And it put a title there for it as an intro to the quiz. And it shows you information like, 12 to 18 months pressure on smaller platforms, yada, yada, yada. And then you can start. So there's an idea for an intro for the quiz. Here's another one. Did you catch the key moments? And here's what's cool is it actually created these 4 bubbles of the key moments from the video. So this is just an example. These are going to come out different each time because it's all dependent on the content. And again, because this prompt, I kept it very short and sweet, right? Design a page cover for that, but you can come in here and add any details that you want. And then you can even upload a reference image of how you want the cover to look like or a style to inherit, all right in here. And just so you can see a different version of it, you'll see here, this was an insider live session that I did about Sora 2 roughly 2 weeks ago. And so I cover a lot of details about Sora, and you'll see in here, like even for my own YouTube video, it came up with 5 ebook lead magnet ideas that I can use for creators. And so, which is pretty cool. I mean, number 1 is like the Sora 2 Cameo Starter Kit. And this literally breaks out. These are insights from my own video. 100 Sora prompts from your transcript. That's pretty cool. The creator's remix playbook, hook, cut, and repeat. And last but not least, artists equal entrepreneurs. That was part of my talk that I had. So this just kind of gives you an idea of how this looks like from a completely different video, right? And look at that. The creator's guide to Sora 2 plus Alphana turn any video into a week of viral ready content. So look at that. I might grab one of these and turn them into an ebook and publish this online. So I'll refine, I'll look through it, and we'll get that done. Everyone who jumped on live, I really appreciate your time. And everybody who's watching this video, please, I urge you to like and to subscribe to our YouTube channel and drop a comment. That helps us out so much. The algorithms love it. I want this to be able to spread for more people, to be able to learn and to be able to create like things like lead magnets and more content from their video, because all it does is it helps them to grow their own business or to grow their reach. Thank you all so much for your time. I am Sebastian Mora, the CEO and co-founder of Alphana. And if you need anything else, just please reach out to me and I'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.